Okay, so Adam, the week of changeover begins with the ending of the current show. So this was The Foreigner. Out the cast goes, out the audience goes, and in comes whom?
In comes all of the crew, works and builds the set. We bring in quite a few volunteers who come in and just like to help us. Plus some extra people. We've got technicians and actors and just anybody who really is interested in kind of helping and seeing behind the scenes. And we just start tearing everything apart.
And that's actually how we found you, isn't it? You came and worked at changeover and as a tech.
I did. I worked as a tech and kind of started getting involved in changeovers, and then it was made known that I had carpentry skills, and so then I started doing that, and then was also made known that I had my degree in lighting and technical theater, and so then I started doing that.
I think a lot of us have started either on stage or behind the scenes with this kind of stuff. Now I notice here they're starting to pull up, you're starting to pull up the floor. Obviously, for a lot of our shows, we build a very specific floor because for us, our floor is kind of like the backdrop.
Correct.
That most other people have. But what I find unique is that we rarely see our real stage, right?
Correct. At this point, like most of the majority of our shows, you don't actually see what our stage is. For example, here you see we've pulled up the floor from Foreigner, and underneath is actually the stage that was left from Christmas Carol.
And Brigadoon.
And also Brigadoon.
Yeah.
And so, but these are also superficial floors that you'll see as we go through. We'll get pulled out, and then a new one will get put on top. It makes it so we can actually build the floor elsewhere and install it in place, and it saves us a lot of time instead of trying to build it in place.
Right. It also gives very often the actors get the opportunity to at least work on some of the pieces in the rehearsal halls.
Correct.
Okay, so that was Saturday night. We work a couple of hours, so a lot of man hours, but really rip the place out. We're now jumping to the week of tech rehearsal, and lots of things are going on here. We're hitting some lighting here, and this is one of the things you really focus on.
Correct, yeah, because Saturday night, after everybody else tears out everything, and then the stage is clear, I actually come in with a crew of 8 to 10 people, and we go and we start redoing all the lights. So we move anything that needs to be moved, we rehang fixtures, we change out colors and gels on lights and get everything ready, and then we can start focusing and getting ready for when the actors are actually on stage for rehearsals and getting what the show will actually look like.
Okay, so here we've been looking at some of that time. So you rehang the lights to a plot that's been created by the lighting designer, which you do some of the time, and sometimes we have others.
Correct.
You focus the lights, you change the color, the gel, and all those types of things. And then during the run, someone checks the bulbs and all those things to make sure that all the lighting's ready.
Correct, yep. Every day we do a light check. So we check, this show we've got probably close to 200 fixtures that we check every day before the show and make sure that their lamps are working and that everything's functioning like it should.
Cool. Now I notice here we've got the barricade and it's facing one direction, but you mentioned to me earlier that it ended up getting switched to this direction, which is a perfect example of Tech Week. You try things and then decide they're not really the way you want them.
Correct, yeah. We had it designed one way and we thought, hey, this would work, and they started running through their blocking that they had planned, and we're finding that it just wasn't working and it didn't look right, and so in the middle of that night, we're like, well, what if we just switched everything places and rotate the stage? And so we did and tried it, and it worked much better, and so we kept it.
Now, one of the things about Tech Week is, of course, during the days you work on lights, you work on sound, you work on the stage itself and getting everything ready. But there's then also at rehearsal the time that it takes for people to learn what's going to really happen.
Correct.
And experience it.
Yeah, correct. We take plenty of time to make sure that the actors feel comfortable on the stage moving on the new set. Like, for example, this one, the floor is actually raked, so it's at an angle. And so we gave the actors plenty of time to get used to the staircases and the angle of the stage and where it moves and when it moves and lots of things like that. For example, we have guns. So we have ammunition in this shows. So we gave them time to get familiar with how the guns fire and going over a lot of gun safety. We actually have an actor who was in the Marines, and so he is very helpful in saying, okay, here's how we can be safe with the guns and make sure that everybody is taken care of and that you're not causing yourself or someone else injuries. But it's very important during Tech Week that we take the time for everyone to feel comfortable. It's not just a rehearsal. It's a time where we can make sure all of the movements, all of the actors, all of the technicians feel comfortable in what is going to happen during the show.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that exploration of Changeover Week at Hale Center Theater, Adam.
Yeah, thank you.